Vanakkam, good morning to everyone. Respected Asiriyar Ayya, Honorable Minister Sivasankar Ayya, and delegates from all parts of the country, organizers, Comrade Tamil Selvan and his team. I am really privileged to be part of this session organized by FIRA at the 13th National Conference under the topic Towards Secular, Scientific, Self-Respect World, New World. The concept of the self-respect is a universal theme transcending cultures and societies around the globe. It embodies the idea of valuing oneself and demanding respect from others, intertwined with issues of dignity, equality, and human rights. This concept has been pivotal in various social movements addressing systemic injustices and promoting individual worth. In many cultures, self-respect is linked to personal integrity and the recognition of one's identity. For example, in Western countries, self-respect is often associated with individualism, where personal achievements and self-advocacy are celebrated. In the Indian context, the struggle for self-respect has been significantly influenced by the socio-political climate. Noted historian D.N. Jha said, "A scientific analysis of our sources amply proves that at no stage in history the common people of India witnessed a truly golden age. The history of India, like that of other countries, has been a story of social inequities, exploitation of the common people, religious conflict, and so on. The idea of a golden age has always been abused in India as well as other countries. The great social revolutionary Tandai Periyar understood this social evils and addressed it through a movement, the self-respect movement. Periyar's self-respect movement is considered unique in world history. Unlike the Soviet Revolution or the French Revolution, which emphasized political independence, liberty, or fraternity, the self-respect movement focused on human dignity, an essential issue of India's caste-based hierarchy. His advocacy for self-respect was fundamentally tied to addressing the deep-seated inequities present in Indian society, particularly those stemming from caste discrimination and gender inequality. Tandai Periyar believed that true self-respect could only be attained when individuals, especially from marginalized communities, were liberated from social oppression. He sought to dismantle the hierarchies and highlighted the importance of self-education, empowerment, and rational thinking. Periyar's emphasis on self-respect became a rallying point for those seeking justice and equality, resonating who are systematically denied dignity and rights. Periyar declared that the self-respect movement alone could be the genuine freedom movement, and political freedom would not be fruitful without individual self-respect. He remarked that the so-called Indian freedom fighters were showing disrespect of self-respect, and this was really an irrational philosophy. Periyar criticized the oppressive nature of caste and the dominance of the Brahminical culture, which he believed perpetuated inequality. His philosophy emphasized that true respect comes from one's inherent worth rather than societal labels. He believed that self-respect was as valuable as life itself, and its protection is a birthright and not Swaraj. He described the movement as Arivu Vidudalai Iyakkam. The self-respect movement initiated by Periyar was not merely a response to caste oppression, but also a broader critique of patriarchal structures. One of the defining features on gender equality, Periyar challenged the patriarchal norms that restricted women's rights and freedom, urging them to break free from traditional roles that relegated them to subservience. He advocated for women's education, urging women to break free from traditional roles and seek independence. This forward-thinking approach encouraged many women to participate actively in social and political spheres. The movement also made strides in promoting intercaste marriages as a way to break down the rigid caste barriers. By advocating for a secular and scientific approach, Periyar sought to shift the focus from religious dogma to reason and logic. He believed that ignorance, often perpetuated through religious beliefs, was a major barrier to societal progress. He urged people to become aware of their rights, unite against exploitation, and actively fight for social change. In pursuing a secular and scientific-oriented world, individual and collective self-respect. These challenges and educational domains, making the journey complex and multifaceted. One significant challenge is the rise of extremist ideologies that seek to impose religious or dogmatic beliefs on society. These ideologies often undermine scientific reasoning and promote anti-intellectualism, creating an environment where critical thinking is disvalued. This atmosphere can marginalize individuals who prioritize evidence-based knowledge and those who cannot openly express their views without fear of backlash. Notable incidents contributing to this controversy include remarks made in 2019 by Professor G. Nageshwar Rao, then Vice Chancellor of Andhra University, who claimed that the characters for the Hindu epic Mahabharata, specifically the Kauravas, were the result of advanced reproductive technologies like stem cell and test tube methods. He also suggested that ancient India possessed sophisticated missile technology long before its time. Additionally, K.J. Krishnan, another scientist, argued that the theories of Newton and Einstein would eventually be disproven. The 2015 Congress further fueled the debate when a speaker presented ideas about Vedic aircraft straying significantly from conventional scientific discourse. Over the past decade, accusations of saffronization, the infusion of Hindu nationalist ideology into science, have emerged, causing concern within the scientific community. Nobel laureate Venkatraman Ramakrishnan criticized the Indian Science Congress as a circus, reflecting concerns that serious scientific discussion has been overshadowed by political agendas. Another hurdle is the educational system's ambivalence towards secular and scientific education. Many curriculum around the world are influenced by cultural or religious beliefs which may dilute critical scientific principles. The NCRT's action of removing certain chapters, to quote a few, Mughal Empire, the rise of popular movements, challenges of democracy, clash of cultures, industrial revolution from the history books of class 12, 11 and 10 received strong condemnation from the academicians. Furthermore, political polarization dramatically affects the implementation of secular policies. In some regions, politicians exploit religious sentiments to gain support, sidelining evidence-based policies crucial for societal progress. Cultural norms that valorize tradition over enlightenment also pose a challenge. It is good that the Apex Court, the Supreme Court of India, recently dismissed a plea that challenged the incorporation of the words socialist, secular into the preamble of the Indian Constitution, which was done through the 42nd Amendment in 1976. This amendment was enacted during the emergency period and aimed to reflect the government's commitment to these principles. Amendment includes Article 15(6) to promote scientific temper. While introducing the 42nd Amendment, institutions provided in the Constitution are basically sound, and the path of progress does not lie in denigrating any of these institutions. However, there could be no denial that these institutions have been subjected to considerable stresses and strains, and that vested interests have been trying to promote their selfish ends to the great detriment of public good. The adverse effect of emergency, we all know. But one good thing happened was this 42nd Amendment inserting the clause secular and socialist into the preamble of the Constitution. Additionally, the global inequality in access to education and resources hinders the spread of secular and scientific values. Regions with limited educational infrastructure struggle to cultivate a culture that champions informed decision making. In conclusion, the path towards a secular and scientifically oriented society is fraught with significant challenges. These challenges range from ideological oppression and educational inadequacies to political polarization and social media dynamics. To overcome them, it is crucial to foster inclusive dialogue, enhance educational quality, and promote critical thinking, ultimately nurturing an environment where self-respect flourishes alongside secular scientific values. Tandai Periyar envisioned a world where self-respect, secularism, and scientific temper formed the bedrock of the society. His ideas challenged ingrained social structures and advocated for a dynamic, inclusive environment where all individuals could thrive based on mutual respect. In his book, Ini Varu Ulagam, The World to Come, Periyar presents a profound vision for a new world order, emphasizing the need for rational thinking, social justice, and human equality. His thoughts urge individuals to question established norms, dismantle oppressive systems, and work towards a more rational and compassionate world. Periyar's quest is not just for a new world order, but for the awakening of the human potential, where all individuals can thrive free from discrimination and injustice. His insights remain relevant today, inspiring movements for social change and equality. ஜாதி மதம் வேதங்கள் மூட வழக்கங்கள் தாங்கி நடைபெற்று வரும் சண்டை உலகு இதனை ஊதையினையில் துரும்பு போல் அலக்களிப்போம், பின்னர் ஒழித்திடுவோம், புதியதோர் உலகம் செய்வோம், வேதமில்லா அறிவுடை அவ்வுலகத்திற்கு பேசு சுய மரியாதை உலகென பெயர் வைப்போம், ஈதே கான் சமூகமே யாம் சொன்ன வழியில் ஏறு நீ ஏறு நீ ஏறு நீ ஏறே. Thus said revolutionary poet Bharatidasan, who translated Periyar's vision through his lyrics. Being the centenary year of the self-respect movement and the Vaikam Satyagraha, it will be appropriate to take Periyar's legacy not only in India but across the globe, to globalize Periyar and Periyarize the globe towards a secular, scientific, self-respect world. Long live Periyar. Thank you organizers for giving this opportunity.